Emerson. The defense has rested and the jury in the Dzhokhar Tsarnaev trial will begin its deliberation today. Lauren Fox has the full story.
And take me out for some Cracker Jacks. America's pastime kicked off once again yesterday with 14 games, including our own Boston Red Sox. Sean Stackhouse will let us know what kind of start the team got off to.
All that and so much more today, Tuesday, April 7th. I'm Maggie Morland.
And I'm Logan Reaver.
Welcome to the show today. Later, we will be Skyping with Ali Stroker. She was an actress who had an appearance on the Glee project and then worked her way into becoming a member of Glee's cast.
Definitely a lot of Emerson people should look in tune for that sort of singing, acting, all sorts of stuff. So that should be fun later on. And then we also have Amelia's Mad Men predictions. All AMC fans can look out for that one. Maggie, I know you're a Mad Men fan.
I know, and I'm a little sad because this is the second half of the 7th season. It's going to be the whole series finale, so who really knows how it's going to end.
We've talked a lot about season finales in general, so hopefully this one lives up to the hype.
I hope so. And later, Ali Reed spoke with Mikey Wax. He's a singer-songwriter. Looks like she's been talking to a lot of singer-songwriters lately.
A lot of singer-songwriters, a lot of young ones too, especially. Also,
definitely.
Mikey Wax, so an interesting name. Maybe, is that his actual name? We'll find out, I guess, starting out later on.
Yeah, good.
But we do have to start with today's news with some more serious sounds that provided by the courtroom, the Boston bombing trial specifically. Lauren, how are we faring this morning?
Well, Logan, jurors in the Boston bombing trial begin deliberating this morning after Monday's closing arguments. In their final argument, prosecutors accused Dzhokhar of having been equally involved in coordinating the attacks with his brother Tamerlan. The defense followed up with the argument that Tamerlan was the real mastermind, his younger brother just a willing accomplice. The jury must use Monday's closing statements and the 16 days of testimony to choose the side they believe. If Tsarnaev is convicted of planning and executing the attacks, the same jury will have to decide whether Dzhokhar should receive the death penalty or life in prison without parole. Tsarnaev is charged with a total of 17 counts related to the bombings and the following manhunt that could bring him the death penalty. And Phi Kappa Psi at the University of Virginia has declared Monday it will pursue all legal action against Rolling Stone magazine. The fraternity's announcement comes 4 months after the publication of the article, A Rape on Campus. The story, written by a University of Virginia student, gave a graphic account of being gang raped at a Phi Kappa Psi frat party in 2012. Contradictions came out regarding the facts of the article soon after it was published. Phi Kappa Psi even denied having a party on the night Jackie said she was assaulted. The magazine apologized for the article in November and asked the Columbia School of Journalism to analyze the article to see what went wrong. On Sunday, the 3-person Columbia team released a 12,000-word report that detailed the faults of the article, calling it a story of journalistic failure. Phi Kappa Psi has yet to make a formal decision on when they will initiate a lawsuit. And President Obama says Iran should not have to recognize Israel as a part of the nuclear agreement being negotiated by the U.S. and its allies, calling the idea a fundamental misjudgment. The U.S., Iran, and other world powers are currently discussing a framework agreement that would slow down Iran's nuclear development in exchange for a lift on some international sanctions. Israeli President Benjamin Netanyahu publicly opposed the framework agreement, claiming it would be a threat to his country's survival. President Obama says the U.S. must prioritize curbing Iranian nuclear development because the U.S. cannot count on the nature of their government changing. Senator Mitchell McConnell is skeptical that an agreement with, quote, the leading state sponsor of terror will actually be effective. And an expert panel organized by Governor Charlie Baker will not ask Congress to invest more money in the MBTA. In a report set to be released this week, the panel blamed the MBTA for, quote, limited cost control, low labor productivity, and high maintenance costs. The shift to focus on reforming the organization is likely to receive criticism from the many people who think the solution to the struggling MBTA are pricey repairs and renovations. The Boston Globe reported the MBTA's operating costs to be growing about 5% each year, finding that the T's maintenance costs are among the highest of all cities in the country. Raising taxes and rehiring management are still being argued for, while Baker's panel gets ready to present its cost control plan. And a new action report on the Boston Marathon bombings was released Friday, giving the public new details on how law enforcement responded. According to the report by the Mass Emergency Management Agency, some police officers showed a lack of weapons discipline during the Watertown shootout with the Tsarnaev brothers. The report says the first responding officers behaved appropriately, but officers who arrived later on the scene neglected to line up their targets or aim their weapons carefully. The report also revealed that transit police officer Richard Donahue was critically wounded in the Watertown Street confrontation. However, it does not detail who fired the shot. Another officer also mistakenly fired at a fellow officer's unmarked vehicle after a false stolen vehicle report. The officer inside the car was not harmed. When Joe Carr was found later on that same day inside the boat, an officer fired his weapon, causing a round of fire from fellow officers who thought that Joe Carr was firing at police. The report did commend the immediate medical response to the bombings because, although 3 died, all other victims that were taken to hospitals survived. Mayor Marty Walsh released a statement in response to the report saying the lessons learned from the bombings can be used to drastically improve our emergency response protocols. That's all the news I have for you today. Back to Logan and Maggie at the desk.
Thanks, Lauren. Well, Logan, now that it's becoming a little bit nicer out, I've seen people walking around in shorts and flip-flops, but I don't really think we're quite there yet.
I don't understand why people feel the need to, just because it's warmer doesn't mean it's warm, and they're walking around all these flip-flops and shorts. I'm like, I'm still wearing 2 layers. It's still cold to me.
Exactly. So, Michael, what do you think about this?
I was wearing flip-flops and shorts yesterday,
Oh, were
actually.
you?
Of course
I
you were,
was,
Michael.
but it wasn't because it was so warm. It was because I hadn't done my laundry.
Oh.
So I had just a pile up of clothes, and it was all I could wear. And I don't think the people who are wearing it because it's warm are going to be doing it much longer with the week we're about to have. So
All right.
let's take a look at that. Right now, it's pretty chilly out at 42 degrees, but the overcast skies and wind speeds are making it feel even colder. Soon, we'll be seeing some rain, and we can expect those high wind speeds to be pretty persistent. Tonight, you can probably expect even more showers as our chance of rain is going to increase to 60%. You'll want to stay inside because the rain isn't going to let up until later in the night, where it might unfortunately turn into a wintry mix. Luckily, though, we won't be seeing much precipitation tomorrow morning. Along with some of the rain going away, our temperature is going to return to the low 40s, but it's still going to be pretty humid out there, and along with the potential for 25-mile-per-hour winds, don't expect to find me outside unless I'm running to and from class. We've got a very small chance of rain for tomorrow, so cherish that because the rain not happening tomorrow is not going to look like that for the rest of the week. Moving on to our 5-day forecast, it's time to invest in some rain boots. What's the difference between a horse and this week's weather patterns? Well, one is rained up and the other rains down. We're in for a very wet week. Starting this afternoon, we have a quick lapse in precipitation on Thursday, but the rain will return on Friday and carry into the morning on Saturday. With daily highs all above 40 degrees, we'll have at least fairly comfortable temperatures. On Thursday, we'll catch you up on the latest information with this storm, but for now, let's look at a different type of storm striking the middle of the country. The Midwest and the South have a very significant severe weather outbreak coming up in the middle of this week. It starts on Wednesday from Dallas up to Kansas, Oklahoma City, and even Springfield, Missouri. A large combination of damaging winds and hail with the possibility of a few tornadoes is really going to take its toll on the area. St. Louis has an even greater chance for tornadoes on Thursday, but I foresee this weather pattern to be a multiple-day event, stretching all the way through the weekend. These weather patterns are caused by a rapid rise in temperature that we've been seeing the past few weeks, especially after the cold winter we're coming out of. Luckily, Boston won't be seeing any of this dangerous weather anytime soon. Sorry for that long-winded report. That's all I have for you today, whether you like it or not. I'm Michael Kyanis. Back to you, Maggie and Logan.
Thank you, Michael. We are now joined via Skype by Ali Stroker, who competed on the Glee project, won her way into a role on Glee, and has also performed on the stage. Ali, thank you for joining us.
Sure, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so a little bit to start, can you tell us about your experience with the Glee project and what it's like to be on Glee in general?
Absolutely. So I auditioned for the Glee project and was invited to the callbacks for the first season and ended up not being able to go. And I was so upset because I wanted to be on Glee more than anything. When I first saw the show, I was like, oh my God, this is my show. And then the second season came around and I went to the open call, which is always insane because there are thousands of people, and I went through 3 rounds of auditions at the open call, and then was invited along with 90 other people to the callbacks in LA. And that was like a 3-day process of auditioning in front of Robert Ulrich and Ryan Murphy, which was a little intimidating. And then I got cast on the show, which was this crazy, crazy dream come true. And I never really imagined myself to do reality TV. Like, I wanted to be an actress, and I didn't think that it was, I felt like I was kind of selling out doing a reality show. But then I ended up realizing it was the most helpful thing in the world, because I was able to really share my story and not just tell somebody else's. And I grew this huge fan base, which now means a lot more than ever, to have, a following. So it was incredible. It was such a great experience. When I was shooting the show, we lived on a set, and they took away like our phones and our computers because they wanted us to just be in this experience. We couldn't be connected to the outside world, which is kind of a strange feeling. It's like, am I at boot camp, or am I like shooting a TV show? So I did 10 weeks of shooting, and then was the runner-up on the show, and then a few months later was offered a role on the show Glee, which was crazy. I was flown to LA and was given my script like a day before I was shooting, and then went in and recorded the music, the song that I was singing, and then you're just on the set with all the stars of Glee, and it was really intimidating at first because I was like, oh my God, do I really belong here? But I was like, no, I've worked really hard to get here, and it was amazing. It was such a cool experience. It ended up taking like 2.5 weeks to shoot because they were also shooting another episode at the same time, which is something they'll do often.
So you mentioned sort of, sharing your story, and I think throughout this experience you've been so open about the fact that you're in a chair. And how has this story been, sharing this with other people? Have people found this to be inspiring, to be helpful?
Yeah, the feedback's been amazing. Online, you can connect with so many more people. And I've received a lot of emails and messages from people saying that they had a disability and they never really had anybody that they had seen on TV who was actually in a chair, and that they were really excited and inspired to continue to pursue their dreams because they finally were able to see somebody with a disability, a real disability, on TV. And that's something that I feel really, really strongly about, that people with disabilities need to be represented on television. And often they'll cast somebody without a disability and they'll put them in a wheelchair, or they'll play the part. But I think that playing these roles authentically is so important for people that actually have disabilities to see that it is possible for them to be on TV and to pursue their dreams, and that we are represented.
Definitely. Well,
Yes.
Ali, thank you so much for joining
Yes,
us.
thank you.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, but we wish you the best of luck, and we hope that people will continue to see, real people with real disabilities on television.
Yes, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was
Thank
great
you.
talking to you guys. Okay, bye.
Definitely. Bye. So yesterday was a big sports day, the NCAA championship and opening day for baseball, but we'll recap that when we all get back.
Don't stop.
Welcome back to the show.
Yeah. So opening day is such an amazing time for Americans. So much hope and promise in the air for all 30 teams. Young kids seeing their first baseball games. It truly is a pastime for everybody. Sean, opening day is magic, isn't it?
Oh, it's one of my favorite days of the entire year. It's right up there with the round of 64 for March Madness. I've never been to an opening day game, but I can only imagine how fun it would be. You know, the hot dogs are being sold like crazy. Everyone's just ready for baseball to finally start.
Yeah, you definitely get your money's worth.
Yeah, but baseball is back. Over the past 2 days, we've already seen a potential no-hitter from Sonny Gray and Kluber, a gem from David Price, 4 home runs by the Red Sox, and a 10-run blowout by the Rockies. So it's safe to say it was a pretty eventful opening day. Also, somehow, the new and improved Bartolo Colon was able to get a win over former Cy Young winner Max Scherzer. It was certainly an incredible first day of the season, and I'm sure we will see plenty of excitement during the rest of the year. And speaking of excitement, last night, Duke and Wisconsin clashed in the College Basketball National Championship in one of the most thrilling games I've ever seen. The Duke Blue Devils were able to capture the crown after sending blows back and forth with the Badgers the entire game. Leading the way for Duke was freshman guard Tyus Jones with 23 points, along with the surprise of the game, Grayson Allen with 16 points off the bench. Despite a double-double from Frank the Tank Kaminsky, Wisconsin's defense fell just a bit short in the final minute of the game. And the New York Jets held their first optional practice of the season yesterday, but they were without key player Muhammad Wilkerson. Wilkerson is in the final year of his contract and is still trying to sign a new deal. The Jets' first mandatory practice isn't until June 9th. However, missing any practices is not a good sign. Wilkerson is scheduled to make almost $7 million this season. In Wilkerson's 5-year career, he has raked in 236 combined tackles, 24 sacks, and 7 forced fumbles. In Miami this weekend, we saw another great matchup on the tennis court. That is, as long as you're not Andy Murray. Murray battled #1 Novak Djokovic in a gruelingly hot match for the Miami Open title. Djokovic was able to come out on top and win all 3 sets and crushing Andy Murray 6-0 in the final. Djokovic is now 10-0 against Andy Murray in hard court victories. The next time Djokovic will be in action will be in 6 days at the Monte Carlo Rolex Masters. And now for a bit more baseball. Last season, the Red Sox ended the year in last place in the AL East. So what better way to start the season than a thrashing of the Philadelphia Phillies? We take you now to Citizens Bank Ballpark, where the Sox and the Phils opened their season. There we go. Dustin Pedroia at the plate. Top of the first, crushes it to left. What a hit for Pedroia, but he is not done there. Then Mookie Betts, top of the third, sends one deep to left as well. Mookie Mania has officially begun. He was batting over 400 during spring training. He rounds the bases, and then Dustin Pedroia have another. This one again deep to left. What an exciting day for the Sox. Now top of the 9th, Hanley Ramirez, grand salami. Sox are able to take that one. Final score of 8-0. Clay Buchholz proved himself to be the right choice as well in that one for the season opener. He pitched 7 scoreless innings with 9 strikeouts and only gave up 3 hits. That's it for sports. Now back to Logan and Maggie.
Thanks, Sean. Spring means that bikini season is right around the corner, so it's time to hit the gym, at least maybe for me. Ashlyn Lillibridge recently visited Orange Theory, a fitness center we may want to put to the test. And they say orange is the new black, so let's see if it's all that.
Hi, I'm your health and fitness correspondent, Ashlyn Lillibridge. Today we're here in Brighton at the Orange Theory Fitness Studio. We're going to learn a little bit more about what the Orange Theory actually is. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. Hi, I'm Ashlyn Lillibridge, and today we're here with Danielle Karen from Orange Theory Fitness. She's actually the studio manager, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what the Orange Theory really is.
Absolutely. So guys, thanks so much for coming on in. Orange Theory, we are a 1-hour total body workout. Half of it's going to be intervals, half of it's going to be strength training. Everyone during our workout actually wears a heart rate monitor, so it's pretty awesome. You get to check how hard your heart is working throughout the entire workout. So we start off with our treadmills, which you'll see over here in my back corner. We use our treadmills, we use water rowers, and we use SPT straps, and then your regular benches, dumbbells, Bosu balls, an array of equipment.
What are some of the programs that you have here at the Orange Theory?
So every time that we have, every day, it's always going to be a class, but every class is always going to be different. It's always either going to be a strength, a power, or an endurance, or a combination of the 3. So every day you come in now, you don't know what the workout is, so it's always going to keep you on your feet and guessing, and it's always going to be challenging and fun for that reason as well.
So what makes you different from other type of workout theories around here and around this area?
Great. So we're definitely different than any other boot camp or group fitness class. So we generalize ourselves as group personal training. So it is, you're in there, you've got your own heart rate monitor on to make sure that you're where you need to be. at every level, not just someone there motivating you, doing the workout with you, but you can have a live active read of how hard you're working to make sure you're where you need to be. And if you're not, you'll have your coach letting you know that. At the end of the class as well, you'll get instant results. We give you a goal, and that goal is to get 12 to 20 minutes in our orange zone and above within the 1 hour workout. So 30 seconds here, 2 minutes here, whatever it is, but at the end of the workout, we want 12 to 20 minutes. If you get that, not only did you just burn, 600 calories yourself in our class, you're gonna burn an additional 200 to 400 in your next 36 hours. So your next day, day and a half that you're relaxing, you're gonna continue to burn calories.
So how many other locations do you have around the country, and are there any locations close to here?
So we are the first one in Boston, which is amazing.
That's great.
I started in Florida, and down there we have about 70 going. We are not only in the US, we're also in Canada and the UK. We have over 400 going right now.
Wow.
And when you have a membership to OTF, you can actually use any other location as well.
So what would you say is the price range of the classes?
Great question. So first off, we're not like any other gym facility, so we don't do any enrollment fees, any processing fees, any cancellation fees, no extra fees. All the classes, we either have month-to-month memberships or packages that range from $11 to $28. It just depends on the individual and what works best for them.
That's wonderful. So do you have any sort of deals or offers for college students?
Certainly. So first off, anytime you come in, your first class is always free, so give us a call. Secondly, we give a 20% out discount with a student ID.
We had a lot of fun today here at Orange Theory Fitness. It's been your health and fitness segment with Ashlyn Lillibridge. We're all going to get into the orange zone.
It's actually really funny that she says that because some of my friends' parents actually go to Orange Theory back in Florida, ironically, and helping us to make those gains as always. Ashley, great stuff there.
Definitely. Well, a television cult has lost their leader. David Lynch is pulling out of the Twin Peaks revival. Amelia, what does this mean for the 25-year-later comeback?
Oh, Maggie, I honestly don't know. I think fans can definitely expect a different style for the comeback. You have a different director, so I think there's definitely going to be a different take on it. But I guess
there has to be.
He's the creator. It's his baby. I don't know why he would back
definitely.
out of
I'm sure that must sting a little bit backing away from that, but I'm sure it'll be great. We'll see. For all the Twin Peaks fans out there, you may be pretty disappointed by this news on the revival. Don't worry, Showtime did not pull the plug completely, but it does sound like someone different is going to be at the helm of the project. The original TV series director David Lynch announced that he is pulling out of the revival. His reasoning? He doesn't think there's enough money being offered to produce the script the way he felt it needed to be done. I guess you just reach a certain point and can totally just drop the "my creativity is worth more than this" bomb on everyone. Anyways, Showtime released a statement where they appear to be hoping for Lynch to return, seeing as he did write all the scripts for the 9 new episodes. But Lynch's future with the project is looking dismal after he tweeted on Sunday, quote, "I love the world of Twin Peaks and wish things could have worked out differently." Well, over the weekend, we saw some nasty fat-shaming comments made by Fox News Sunday host Chris Wallace surrounding Kelly Clarkson. Now he's apologizing for the words between Mike Gallagher and himself that sparked such a controversy. He released in a Sunday statement. So here's some background to the situation. Wallace slammed Clarkson during the Mike Gallagher show on Friday when a conversation about pizza was randomly reconnected to Clarkson's weight. He made the comment that, quote, "she could stay off the deep dish pizza for a little while." I mean, come on, people. I thought we all learned in elementary school that telling people they're fat is bad. Some good news, though. Clarkson could not be less interested in the conversation. She hasn't even acknowledged it once. Good for you, girl. Let those haters hate. Rapper DMX was apparently not in the Easter spirit this weekend since he is being investigated for allegedly robbing a man at a New Jersey gas station this Sunday. The victim said he and DMX were just having a conversation when a member of his rap entourage pulled a gun and demanded all of his money. DMX then swiped the money out of his hand and drove off, according to a Newark police spokesman. The man said he was carrying around $3,200, which I can't remember the last time I even had that in my bank account, never mind my wallet. Fortunately, though, he also said he got the license plate of DMX's car. That is a serious case of bad luck, though. If the time you get robbed, you have thousands of dollars on you, and the robber is a famous rapper. DMX has actually been arrested several times over the years for drug possession, animal cruelty, and parole violations, so this is not the first time he's gone off the deep end. No charges have yet been filed, though, and police are asking anyone with info about the incident to contact the department. The end of a legacy premiered this weekend with the opening of Furious 7, Paul Walker's last film in the franchise. And the end scene had audiences' hearts, myself included, absolutely beaten to a pulp. I'll admit, if you haven't seen it yet, I can almost guarantee whether you're a big biker dude or a PMSing female, tears will flow. Without giving away too much, the tribute includes parts of a music video to one of the soundtrack's original songs, See You Again by Wiz Khalifa and Charlie Puth, and includes Walker's final scene with Vin Diesel at the end of the montage. Hope you're all ready for some Tuesday morning feels. Let's take a look at some clips from the tribute.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. And when I see you again, when I see you again,
That was the very last scene there in the tribute. The film has taken in nearly $144 million at the U.S. box office since its Friday premiere, making it one of the 10 biggest U.S. opening weekends of all time. I'm sure it would have made Mr. Walker very proud. In the end of another era, Mad Men fans watched the beginning of the end on Sunday with the final season premiere of the series. Now, there's a lot of speculation over what writers will do with the AMC phenom, but here are some of my own predictions for what's to unravel this final season. All right, so with any final season shocker, I feel someone's gotta die. It's kind of sick actually, but I love bombshells like that. Mad Men may be too cool and non-mainstream to do this, but I personally think it'll be either Don or Roger. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I have some theories on how. I mean, just look at the opening sequence we've been watching for the last few years. It's practically a flashing light that says, hello, one of these Mad Men is gonna jump off a building and die. Like I said, though, the writers tend to take the more unexpected route, so my death wishes for these main dudes probably won't become a reality. My next prediction is for Peggy, who I totally have a girl crush on, always have, always will. I think no matter how turmoily her personal life gets on the show, she will always have her professional stuff together and will continue to dominate and slay all the mad men around her. Maybe she'll open her own firm. Maybe Don will end up working for her in a sudden twist of ironic events. If he doesn't get killed off, of course. A girl can dream. We'll just have to see. All in all, though, I think with the end scene, we may be left with a lot of questions. It still is a ways away, but maybe it'll be Sopranos style, like totally open-ended, left for interpretation, that sort of thing. I can hardly see the writers doing something cliche, so a vague ending may be the answer. But we'll just have to wait and see. That's all the pop news I've got for you today. Join me right back here again on Thursday morning. Until then, Maggie and Logan, back to you.
Thank you, Amelia. Our music correspondent, Allie Reed, has been getting all the guys lately. She recently spoke with singer-songwriter Mikey Wax. Let's see what that lucky lady has been up to.
All right, so we're here with the lovely Mikey Wax in Cambridge, Massachusetts at the Middle East. We're going to be asking him a couple questions today regarding how he started off in the music industry, how he started writing his songs, and where he sees himself in the future. So, it's a pleasure being here tonight. I really appreciate you sitting down and talking to me, especially on such short notice. So I have a bunch of questions that I plan on asking you. And so I think the first question that I want to ask you is, where did this all start for you? How did you get involved in the music industry?
Well, it really started when I was about 8 years old. I started playing piano.
Okay.
My dad taught me my first song on piano. He was a piano player. And I started writing songs pretty much right away.
Okay.
And then I wrote an album for the music in college that I released in 2009.
Right.
And from there, one of the songs called In Case I Go Again got a feature on the homepage of YouTube. YouTube used to do homepage features. And it was one of the first times, they were doing that. And I got the feature, and out of nowhere, the video got 500,000 hits overnight. So from there, I really started just, kind of living out of my dad and recording.
Where do you see yourself going from here then?
That's a tough question. I mean, I just want to, I guess the saying is keep on keeping on, I feel very, I guess the word is lucky and humbled every day that I get to do my music and perform my music for a living. So just to keep doing that and making new fans and pleasing the old ones, and and doing this for a living, I feel like I'm doing my job. So I guess the goal being from New York is to sell out Madison Square Garden, but if that doesn't happen and I get to keep doing what I'm doing, I'll be okay.
Again, guys, this is Mikey Wax. Check him out. He is awesome. And as for fans, I'm Allie Reed, giving you guys the latest feed, and I will see you all real soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Allie. And now we have our opening day little segment part. We have our own pictures from our own, maybe not opening day experiences, but first time seeing baseball games.
Yeah.
Sean, I think you're up first. What was it like being in your first baseball atmosphere?
I mean, it's incredible. The first time I went, it was a game against the Kansas City Royals at Fenway Park. It was such a blast. Jason Varitek had an RBI double. I remember
the captain.
the captain. Classic player. It was just a really great time. Fenway is such a great ballpark to go to.
Definitely good to have your first time there. Also, Maggie, we hear that you are also not just a watcher, but a player.
Right. Well, I
back in
think
the
this
day.
picture we have is probably the extent of my softball
Look
career.
at Maggie right
I
there.
don't really
That
remember that.
stands.
I've kind of blocked that out of my memory. But I do remember my first baseball game at Yankee Stadium. Darryl Strawberry hit a home run. It was a big deal.
Oh, big deal, huge deal. At the old Yankee Stadium
Oh,
too,
yeah,
as well.
definitely.
Also, and then my own was obviously at Fenway Park. I think the picture we have is before the game, but still, look at that stud right before the game. Always rocking the old
So
Boston
cute.
stuff.
Always have to have a Red Sox hat if you're going
Oh
to
my
a
God,
game.
yeah, especially if you're 9 years old.
Yeah.
It's cherished, but yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. You never forget your first game.
Yeah,
Memories
you're
just
always
stick
going to
with
remember
you.
it.
Especially when it's baseball.
All right, well, it's just the start of a very exciting season. That's all the time we have for today.
We'll see you on Thursday.